Honestly, so much of it is from you guys and you in particular. I wouldn't be doing CrossFit without you guys. And so I never did CrossFit specifically for competing. Like I did it for all the other benefits that I get, like physically and mentally and socially and all those things. Like that to me is why I CrossFit. Yeah. But then like this stuff is just kind of like a bonus. And then like that was like kind of the ultimate bonus.
That was a big bonus.
It was so fun. Yeah. And it was like, and it was such a neat experience. And one of the things that made it even more special is that like we got to share it with everybody, and the community was just so supportive. And it was like people were really kind, and like it meant stuff for our community as a whole. And so it was fun to kind of feel that support.
All right. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Brio in the Box podcast. Today with special guest, Iain McLean.
Hello.
Hooray. It's taken a long time to make this happen.
Yeah.
You're a busy guy. I had to get your people to free up some time and squeeze us into your schedule.
Yeah.
How's things going?
Great, man.
Yeah.
It's good.
Welcome to our closet.
Thanks.
It's hot up here. Yeah. It was 37 degrees today, so we're feeling the heat in here.
Yeah, it's bananas.
So we're going to talk a little bit about who you are. So where were you born?
Prince Albert.
Yeah.
Prince Albert, Saskatchewan.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you miss being back there all the time, I bet.
You know what? I love PA.
Do you really?
Yeah. Everyone, like, as soon as they hear I'm from PA, it's like, it's the joke of, you know, all the PA jokes and whatnot, but it's, no, I still love PA. Like it's,
is it the proximity to like nature and stuff, or is it the actual town?
You know, it's, I think it's probably the proximity to nature. Like there's you're right in the trees and the parklands and the lakes are so accessible. And, and I had a really good childhood there. Like it was a fun place to grow up. It's awesome. Definitely rougher than when I grew up there. Like it's definitely taken that turn, I guess. And yeah. Lots of people talk about that, and it's very obvious. It was still, I think, in comparison, it was rougher than other places. Like and whenever we'd go visit with other people, they'd kind of make the comments about like, oh, you're from PA. And it's just like the water that you swim in, right? That you don't know any different. But even like looking back, like now it's definitely a lot rougher than it used to be. Yeah.
The only part of PA I've ever seen is when you drive through it to go to Waskasu.
So
it's just like, it's not the nicest street to drive down. So, but to be fair, when I first drove to Saskatchewan with Jocelyn and drove in from the west side, I remember getting into Saskatoon and being like, what is, this is the city? And it, like you drive through Alphabet City and all of a sudden you're like across the river and everything is nice. And you're like, oh, okay, this is better. Yeah. But it's a tough first impression. Yeah. No, I don't know. Like they've got a park there, Little Red, that they've got like ski trails and bike trails and and it's like, that's like, I've spent lots of time out there. And it's just really, it's a beautiful city. Yeah. Were you always super outdoorsy growing up? I would say not overly, but it's something I kind of aspired to. Like my dad was a hunter, and I kind of like admired that, and like and it always appealed to me, but the opportunities weren't always there. And then as I got into university and whatnot, I can kind of start dictating for myself, and so I started pursuing it more on my own. So, for sure. Yeah. In high school, did you do sports? Yeah. So I started with flatwater kayaking, like race kayaking, sprinting. Right. Yeah. So that was, and I fell into that by accident. Actually, it was like a classmate of mine, and he was into it, and he did like a presentation to our class, and he said, who wants to come kayaking, basically. And I was like, oh, perfect. And I had envisioned like whitewater kayaking. I was like, I didn't know we could do that here. And then I show up, and sure enough, it's on the river, and it's like, it was far below what I expected, but it was actually really, it was really a great thing to do. Like, it was, great for fitness and fun, and it was a good thing to do. So that's what I kind of did in my junior high years, and then leading into high school, and then high school basketball was my passion. Yeah, your passion. So I loved it. I loved. Did you like the Bulls? Because you're about the same age as me. Yeah, I loved the Bulls. Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Yeah, and the Fab Five. Yeah, Michigan. Yeah, I still. Yeah, so it's I love basketball. I wasn't good at it, but yeah, I loved it. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was super into basketball too. And when I moved to Canmore, somebody heard, one of the basketball players heard I was a basketball player.
You were into basketball? I didn't
I
know
was,
that.
yeah, I know. I wasn't good at it either, but I enjoy, like I was obsessed with the Bulls and, you know, played it with my buddy.
To be good at it.
Oh man, yeah. But I show up at school and this guy's like, hey, we should play 1-on-1. He's like, let me test you out, see if you're good enough for our team. And I was like, what? And I like go meet this guy and he's like 6'4". and he's like trying to show off and he's just like dunking on me and just like, just embarrassed the hell out of me. And I was like, I guess I'm not playing basketball in Canmore.
In Canmore.
So I took up badminton.
Really?
Yeah.
These are things I didn't know.
I played a little bit of basketball, but it was, not really.
Brought questions for you.
I know.
That's bizarre. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Now we know.
Yeah.
So where'd you go to university?
Started off U of S and I got a degree there. And then, actually I did my first year in Prince Albert. They had like a satellite location there. And then I did my next couple of years in Saskatoon and then took a year off and then went to U of A.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what was your first degree in?
Physiology.
Yeah. And now you're
very impractical in terms of job availability and whatnot. So.
I mean, it opens lots of like other areas that you can specialize in, I suppose.
It was I enjoyed it, but like I was like too immature to be in university. I was just going along with.
Were you a party guy in university?
Not overly. Yeah. Like I again, it's something I wanted to, and then
it's too hard.
I wasn't very good at it.
I was the first one to pass out. I wake up with no eyebrows. Wasn't very good.
Yeah. No, not overly. Like I lived in a house of like there's 5 of us in that house, and that was like that was a bit of a busier place.
Yeah.
So we got down to some stuff, but
that's awesome.
I
think everybody needs to like spend some time living with more people than they should at some point.
Yeah.
Because it really makes you, I don't know, appreciate when you have alone time and all that. I lived with 2 dudes at one point and it was a blast until I realized like what a nightmare it was. And then I was like, oh shit, I need to get out of here.
And different like standards for like, all sorts of cleanliness. I remember like, I was like, just blown away by the what people could tolerate.
Oh yeah.
I remember like at one phase, like we were like washing our dishes in the bathtub because there was no dish in the house that was clean and the countertop was just like piled. It was just unbelievable, the filth that it was like, that was the only receptacle that we could wash in. And it's just like, this is a low.
Yeah. That's a low point.
And it happened more than once.
Oh yeah. The basement suite we had, our bathroom was carpet. And it was just like, well, this is just a nightmare. Like, it's carpet in a bathroom. It was dingy. It was gross. Yeah. Got to do it once in your life.
Yeah.
So you went to school, and what do you do now?
Occupational therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're actually just changing jobs right away here.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had the summer off, but I'm moving. It's kind of been interesting over the course of my career, actually. Like it's turned out, not by plan, but every like 3 or 4 years, I've kind of changed roles and probably a little too far away. Hey, and it's so now I'm transitioning into a new role that they've created. It's in the children's mental health, and so I'll be. And
you're basically creating the job, right? They kind of want you to sort of run with it.
Yeah, to develop this. It's a new position, so it's something that the team had wanted for a while. They identified that as something that was lacking in their services, and so so it's up to me to kind of figure that out.
Just move it around on you. That's cool. So are you going to be in an office, or are you moving around more? Because you've been on the road a lot with work too.
Yeah. So everything is TBD at this stage. But I think there's going to be a combination. Like I think some of it will be in clinic. So I do have an office. And so I think sometimes clients will come in and see me there. Other times I'll go to their homes or just, I think, and that's kind of the interesting part about this job, and what kind of drew me to it is that they're really open to like whatever I think would work. And so so I think, and a lot of occupational therapy is seeing people in their environments and trying to help them function in those environments.
A lot of problem solving, it seems like.
It's
That's
been
cool.
It's been a good fit for me for sure.
And then you have a cute little family as well that we spend time with all the time.
Yeah.
You and Bonnie.
Good crew.
And then Brooke and Ben.
Yeah.
How old are they now?
9 and 6.
9 and 6. God. Yeah. We have pictures back when Ben was brand new in the hospital.
Yeah.
We still weren't like we were like buds, but we weren't like super tight yet. And I remember like showing up at the hospital to like go visit you guys, and we were like, we totally weren't sure if this was appropriate or not. We're like, I don't know, this is either taking it way too far or this is like going to be awesome. And
it turned out awesome. It felt like a transition, like entering a new phase.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Yeah.
So,
I was like, oh, hey guys.
No, not at all. No, it was like, hey guys. And it's like, moving into a new phase. So.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you guys do a lot of outdoorsy stuff.
Yeah.
Big canoe people.
Yeah.
That's like your big family trip, hey?
Yeah, it's turned into, it's, again, it's something that like Bonnie and I, like we started doing it together and like shorter trips. And then, we, have kind of teamed up with, another family that Caroline and Darren and the Inglis McQuays. And yeah, they've kind of taken us under their wing a little bit. They're both trip guides. And so they've shown us some new things and expanded our horizons. And it's been awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love it.
And the kids love it.
Kids love it. Yeah. It was kind of funny because like both Bonnie and I always enjoyed it and wanted to do more of it. And we're like, well, hopefully our kids like it because they're coming along.
Yeah.
And they do. Like it's been really interesting to see how they've kind of just it's not like we're dragging them along at all. Like they really thrive in those environments. And it's cool.
It's interesting how whatever you just make the normal for the family, they just kind of grow up and that's normal to them.
Yeah. I think there is an affinity though. Like there's times like there's moments that just kind of like stand out. Like I remember I was paddling with Ben and it, like for young kids, like you're in a boat for like, like 6, like sometimes 8 hours.
Wow.
And it's a long time and it can be hot. It can be uncomfortable. You're sitting still. Like it is different than a lot of what we do in our, everyday life kind of thing. And so, but there's a couple of moments where, that just really stick out. And like we're paddling along and Ben's just like, I just love being in the wild. Just like hearing that,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Just music to our ears and just, I don't know, like they love it. It's funny because, before we had kids, we read this article about this, it was written by this couple that they were rangers they met in Denali and, like super hardcore, like outdoorsy people. And they had this kid that is, like the most city-ish kid. And so like they when they take him on hikes and he insists on wearing a tuxedo where so awesome. They're like, yeah, you can wear your tuxedo, and then they like throw Gore-Tex over top of this tuxedo. So we were kind of prepared, like this might be the case for us too, but but both kids they
That's
really
hilarious.
tried. Yeah, it was a great article actually.
That's so good.
Yeah,
a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Kids are so fucking hilarious.
Oh, man. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So do you remember you do CrossFit as a hobby, obviously. Do you remember the first time doing it? Do you remember? Yeah. It was a long time ago. What year was that? Do you remember?
Well, I did it even casually before I made it.
Okay.
Brio. So I think it was 2011 when I started at Brio, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, 2011. Yeah, but prior to that, like my friend in PA, he'd come across the .com and we were working out together. And he's like, oh, we sprinkled in some of those workouts,
right.
And so I had heard of it and I had tried it, but not as actually intended.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I remember we did a Groupon and you guys bought that and that's how we ended up meeting. And I remember doing a foundation with you and Bonnie, and you were one of the first people where you were like, can I like make this a little heavier? Can I like try this a little bit more? And you were one of the first people that I was like cool with it. Cause I was like, I think this guy can actually handle it. And I'm pretty sure you like, whatever the workout was that we were doing back then, I'm pretty sure you like set the record on all of the workouts that we did, even with the like more challenging weight and stuff. And I remember being like, oh, these two are going to be animals. So yeah, you've been with us for a long time.
Yeah.
Why do you CrossFit? Like, what's your sort of thing?
Yeah, it's changed over time, to be honest with you. Yeah. Cause like when I first started, it was kind of like, a convenience thing. Cause it was like, well, these guys, like it's nice to just show up and like someone's already planned the workout. Like it's, and they say 3, 2, 1, go. And it's like, so it was like, that was the thing. Like I other than that, I could kind of take it or leave it. I was like, I work out on my own. It's fine. So I like that convenience factor. And then it grew where I started getting better. And it was like, oh, cause I'd never, like, I think before, like the way I'd worked out, it was kind of just like a maintenance thing. And like, it was like 3 sets of 10 and like, you know,
traditional stuff.
Yeah. And then where we like record, like, what can you back squat? And it's like, okay, well, that's what I can back squat. And then we retest it and it's like just as hard, but all of a sudden it's like 50 pounds more. Oh my gosh, I'm actually getting better at things. And so that kind of was intriguing. And then it became like there was the opportunity to compete, and it was like that was fun because it was like I haven't competed since, you know, like high school basically, and so like to get into that kind of stuff was super fun. And then it became like the competition stuff, and then the community stuff happened happened together, and that's been it, right? Like it's like I love the people. I honestly do. Like it's like that's absolutely the best part. And it's kind of funny where how much of our social group is from CrossFit, from Brio. It's been it's amazing. So
it's funny you're basically describing the like natural life cycle we've noticed with the CrossFit people is that they started out and they're like, well, you know, we'll see what happens, and then they start getting better and they're like, and then they're like, I wonder how far I can push this thing. And then some people will get competitive, and then eventually they kind of just settle into it where it's like, I still want to try hard, but I don't necessarily like need to be the best in the world at whatever. And it becomes more of just enjoyable. Like I do it for the fun of it. I do it for the community. I do it for the people and all that.
Well, and that's been kind of a fun trip too, because like I started, so how old was I when I started doing the math here? But it was in my 30s, right? And so I was like, well, physically it's all downhill from here, right? And so I kind of had that mindset is like things are just going to get worse. And like the fact that things got better was, and like I got stronger and I've gotten more flexible and all these like things I can do, like gymnastics moves that I'd never really tried before, but that's been, that was really amazing. And like, over the years, like I kept getting fitter. So it's been,
and you ended up taking it quite far. You had a really good starting point, which I mentioned earlier, but for those that don't know, Iain was on our regional team for a number of years. And then you also ended up going to the CrossFit Games as a master's athlete, which was pretty exciting. Yeah. That was awesome.
Oh man, that was so fun.
How old were you? 41? 40. Ooh, 40. Okay.
Yeah, right on the nose.
Yeah. You were the rookie.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that experience?
It was just a blast. Like it was kind of like, I don't know. To me, it was just such a gift. It was because it was like, and so honestly, so much of it is from you guys and you in particular. It's just like I wouldn't be doing CrossFit without you guys. And so like this was just like, and I never did CrossFit to, specifically for competing. Like I did it for all the other benefits that I get, like, physically and mentally and socially and all those things like that to me is why I CrossFit. But then like this stuff is just kind of like a bonus. And then like that was like kind of the ultimate bonus.
That was a big bonus.
It was so fun. And it was like, and it was such a neat experience. And one of the things that made it even more special is that like we got to share it with everybody, and the community was just so supportive. And it was like it was, I don't know, people were really kind and like, and I felt really, like it meant stuff for our community as a whole. And so it was fun to kind of feel that support. And it was great. And then like, it was cool. Like one of the things I always remember is just like you and me in the back, like there's just the two of us, and like, and it's like, and like you see like Fraser and Sigmund's daughter and all these like, you know,
crazy people.
And like you and me are just kind of like back there laughing at it all.
What are we doing here?
And remember the woman vaping? We're sitting there listening to this briefing, and all of a sudden this massive
like, what? Is she smoking? Like,
she's like, yeah. So like,
she must be from Spain or something.
Yeah, it was fun. Like, it was fun to do it together. Like, it was cool. And then like, friends came down and watched, and it was a cool experience.
Yeah. I remember leading up to it, you had like tweaked your back pretty good. A while before. And you basically couldn't train. Like for the last like week and a half or 2 weeks leading up to it.
Even flying down there, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna.
And then I just remember like us being like, well, like no matter what, you'll get your gear and we'll see it. If you can't compete, you can't compete.
Yeah.
And then I remember, I think it was that swim event was the first one. Was that the first one? It was one of the first ones.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then, and you like, you felt good and you did really well on that one. And I remember that being like, okay, we got the number on the board. Let's see what happens. And
well, it's funny because like, CrossFit, like it's, you can apply it to so many things in life. And one of the things that I take in CrossFit, like within individual workouts and like within, you know, like even like the process for qualifying for the games or for whatever, it's like, you have to be very mindful and in the moment.
For sure.
And like having that injury, just made me even more mindful, because like flying down there, I'm like, well, I'm not sure if this is going to happen. And then each event I was like, well, this might be it. And so like walking out to the event, I'm like, well, I'm going to enjoy this one. And thankfully I was able to get through everything. And that in and of itself was like, that was like a real gift. I was like, oh man, I finished it. And it was cool. So
I definitely remember every event. We were just kind of like checking in, like, all right, how's it feeling? Like, how are we doing? And like, okay, let's just go see what happens. And it was literally event by event.
It was, And even on the way down there, like I remember like I'd have to like lie in my prone position to try and rest things and set things up. And it was really touch and go. But then, it was like, honestly, by the end of the week, I felt the best I had.
And all the stars aligned and it just kind of worked out.
Do you
remember the snatch event?
Highlight / low light. Yes, I do.
It's a hilarious one, because like the poster that we have up on the wall of you was taken from one of the CrossFit Games photographers, and it's a great photo. You know, it's a great
Technique
photo.
Wise,
it's like total triple extension. This like beautiful photo. And it was funny because we had no idea what was going to happen, because obviously the snatch is challenging on the back. And so going out, we were just like, all right, let's go see what happened. It was a 1 rep max snatch event. You had like 7 minutes or something like that. And the first little while you were starting with like full like squat snatches and trying to just like really like dial in the technique and make everything look good and stuff. And then as soon as you started missing it, I could see you just be like, fuck it, I'm just going to lift it over my head.
That's essentially what happened.
And what did you end up snatching?
240.
And like,
well, snatch / press.
It was kind of like a heaving like muscle snatch kind of thing. But you gross. Like PR'd your snatch by a lot.
The snatch.
Your ground to overhead. There were some good ones in there for sure. They got some good photos.
So anyways,
it was great.
It still counts.
And I just remember you coming off the floor and you're like, what the hell happened? Like, how did I get that over my head?
I've had a few moments like that in I'm not sure if you remember regionals, but like our first year of regionals where we had the snatch event, and that was when like our technique was
still in the learning process.
And so really poor, and I just like, and I think the most I had snatched before that was, I think like 155 or something, or maybe it was 165, because that was the starting weight. And I was like, okay, well, like that was all we had, the max I had snatched in practice. And then and I was like, and for some reason I was like 205. And I had no business thinking 205. But I just had that in my mind. I was like 205. And we went and hit it that time. And so same thing walking out, like with, at the games, I was just like 240. And like my previous PR was 235, and that was a squat snatch. It was legit, but that didn't happen in the games. I was like, well, I'm getting 240 one way or another. And so I got it.
That's awesome.
It was fun.
I remember as well I don't remember what qualifier. It was either a master's qualifiers for the open, where there was like heavy squat cleans, and you PR'd by a significant amount too.
Yeah.
That was a big one as well.
Yeah. It's funny how
you've had a few of those moments where it's just like, you're just like, fuck it, I'm just going for it.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. It's such a rush to get that stuff. And, and like, you can't, it's nothing that you can force. Like you have to kind of like, I don't know. It's been, I've had a few of those where it's felt great.
There's definitely something about whether it's a local competition or even just the open or whatever, where it's like, you just try so much harder, you just go for it.
Yeah. The legendary open magic. Right. Yeah. And it's a thing. Like it's like, there's the spirit of competition and like this, and I think for me, I think one of the things is like, this is your chance.
Yeah.
Like it's like, there's no more, you don't get another chance. This is it. So like, I don't know what it is, but like, there's times where you just like can really get fired up. And it happens. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's been fun.
It's been a good journey.
Yeah.
We've had so many like fun trips, regionals, and like the games was kind of the peak of it all.
Yeah. It was super fun.
Good memories.
Yeah.
And you're a coach for us as well.
I am.
How do you like coaching?
Good. Yeah, no, it's, I really enjoy coaching.
Yeah.
There's, it's another way to kind of be involved in the community and it's super fun when you can notice something that can be helpful for someone and try and if they're able to kind of benefit from that, that's always super rewarding. So
it's kind of a pay it forward sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something special about like helping other people achieve, and I think that like that's like a lot of your job too, right? It's like it's helping people, make things better. Yeah, it's
that's the career I chose for sure.
Yeah.
And and this is just another, like, coaching is very much like that. And the thing that's rewarding about coaching is the people that are coming into Brio are highly motivated. And so
a little bit different from your job sometimes.
So you just assume that people are receptive to whatever you might notice or things that you might be able to offer. So yeah, it's been fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. Do you have any like favorite CrossFit moves or anything? Like if you're going to put a workout together, what would you choose?
Yeah, it's I've said it from the start, but it's like I honestly love everything.
Yeah.
Like it's I honestly do, and it's even the ones that I'm not good at relatively. Like it's like I'm like, okay, well this is a chance to try it and get good at it. And funny, like because like even with like things that I previously hated, like the wall walks, I was like, we do them in warm-ups, and I was like, this is awful. We do 2. Yeah. Like, this sucks. And then all of a sudden we put it in a workout. I'm like, I like this. This is so yeah, I love it all. Like it's I love and that's I love the variety of it too. Like that's the thing, and like different combinations and how there might be interference or I love it.
So a lot of people will relate to this. When you first started, double unders were not a good way for you.
Yep. The rhythm. Yeah.
It was funny because you bought pretty much every skipping rope there was to try all the different types of equipment.
Yeah.
And you would you would literally on your lunch hour spend time doing double unders, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. And get like whipped from that's, I'm not sure if I'm sure most people have experienced that, but you'd have to pay the price to get good at it. But
we always use that actually as an example with Atlas when he's like struggling with something, and he's actually, when he was younger, he would struggle with stuff and immediately want to give up. And we would say to him, like, Iain, when he like wasn't good at double unders, he would like every day he would like go out for lunch and he would do double unders and just practice them every single day.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not good at something, you want to change that, you have to put the time in. Like that's just all there is to it.
Yeah. That's the way life works.
Yeah, so. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it was, that was a fun kind of problem to solve because we, back in the day, we used to have the record board for all the different workouts and all the benchmark workouts. And mine, it was either the slowest or the second slowest for is it Annie?
Annie with the sit-ups.
With the sit-ups.
Yeah.
Like, it was, I think it was like triple or more the time of what people were doing.
Stupid double unders.
Stupid double unders.
It's funny because I think a lot of people assume that the like super high achieving athletes, it just comes naturally to them. And that's not always true. It's generally, they've got a good base level of fitness to kind of work off of. And I think that helps. Yeah. But I feel like everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses.
Rhythm is mine.
Yeah. Not a big dancer.
Not a big dancer.
But I think the difference between like a regular person and a high level or high achieving athlete is their willingness to like put in the work. You know, that's really what it comes down to.
Well, and I think you guys have talked about that too, in terms of like the people that stick with CrossFit in the long term. It's because you're going to find the things that that you suck at. And in order to continue to do it, you have to attack those things and or at least challenge them or touch on them.
Yeah.
And that's.
And even like doing CrossFit, you can take rest days when those things come up, and you can avoid them if you want to. But I think like if you truly want to be honest with yourself, you just need to like I suck at thrusters, and I know, you know, I've spent years going back and forth on like just avoiding them and trying to pretend they don't exist. But like they're always going to suck unless I keep working on them, you know? So
to me, it's kind of like an opportunity to get better. It's like, oh, I found something that I suck at. Something I can groove on, you know?
That's definitely the right mindset.
Yeah. It makes it funner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And now how do your kids feel about CrossFit? Are they showing interest?
Ben is just starting to show interest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny because Ben was at the CrossFit. Actually, Brookie came for part of it too.
Yeah.
But, the CrossFit Kids Camp last week. And he's like, Dad, can you come work out when we're there? Cause I'm a morning guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Like he never sees us work out. Like he hears us talk about it, but he never witnesses it. And so much of parenting is, you know, being the role model and actually demonstrating it. And so, we hadn't forced it. Like we'd invite them to come do workouts every now and then, like if we're doing them in the gym or in the field or whatever. And generally he's like, no, don't want to do it. And it's like, okay, fine. And but now I think he's like starting to make the link. It's like, oh, this is fun, and this would like it can help me be better at other things. And I think he's starting to get into it. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Brookie is she's into it. Like she was in CrossFit Kids, and she likes it, and but those classes are aimed obviously more for like it's like a game. And so
for sure,
not in strict WOD format kind of thing.
I think that kids like naturally, you know, they just like grown-ups, we tend to hide from the stuff that we're not immediately good at, right? Like if you're not immediately good at it, it's less fun, and so you don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. And we struggle with that with Atlas, that we had to like be like, okay, it's time to work out. And we would take him into the gym, and sometimes he would cry, and he would look at the workout sometimes and be like, we have to do that 10 times. Be like, just relax, man. It's like one thing at a time, like chill out. And we went through all the like ups and downs. And I think you have to get over that initial hump of where it's like everything's hard and everything sucks. And you start seeing those small improvements. As soon as Atlas could like all of a sudden squat more than he ever could before, and all of a sudden he was like able to burpee or run faster than me or something like that, then all of a sudden he's like, oh, wait a minute. And now he's like way more keen, right? So I think it's like, it's easy to let the kids just, you know, not do it because it's hard. But I think, like you said, you got to lead from the front and be the example. And
also like we're, like one of our family values is do hard things. And so like one of the things that I've had the summer off with the kids, and we've kind of experimented on it, because like the natural impulse is they wake up and like Dad's home, and it's kind of like, it's like, can I just like watch the highlights? Can I like, they just want to chill and watch TV. And it's like, you can, but you're going to feel worse. And so, part of like, it's cool that Atlas is kind of on that next phase where he's like, oh, I'm getting better. And like where we're at right now, it's just like, we're going to do something hard and notice how you feel afterwards. And that's kind of where we're at with it. And we've experimented this year. It's like, hey, we're going to go to a movie middle of the day, and we're going to eat popcorn, and then let's see what happens. And sure enough, it's like, feel terrible, and they're snarky with each other. It's like, hey, let's make the link here, guys. And then like the other days, I'm like, let's, you know, we're gonna go for a run, or we're gonna like I get them involved in stuff. I'm like, guys, notice how we're feeling. Notice, like,
that's awesome.
It's good.
I think, I mean, Atlas was about the same when he was Ben's age. There's still trying to figure it all out.
Oh
but,
yeah. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a great way to do it. It's funny because now Atlas will, you know, like he'll be keen to work out, but he still likes to have junk food and he still likes to whatever, but then he'll eat it. He'll be like, I don't feel good after. Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. What did you just eat? He's like, yeah, too much pizza or whatever. And, you know, kids are smart. They'll figure it out. You just got to like direct them. Yeah. Point it out.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to do some rapid fire questions.
All right.
Are you ready for these?
I think so. I can see them.
Okay. Yeah, you're allowed to see them. Okay. You're a book guy for sure. What book are you reading, or the last book you read?
Book I'm reading right now is I can't even remember the title of it. It's written by Rick Dreger. He's the owner of Churchill River Canoe Outfitters. And
okay.
Yeah, so it's just some stories about his adventures in the North, or adventures from, you know, different canoeing things. And so that one was just kind of fell in my lap, just kind of casual summer reading. And prior to that, though, I read Dopamine Nation. Oh, yeah. Did you read that one?
I did. I think I read that one. Or no, I read the other one.
Oh, the Molecule of More?
Molecule of More, yeah.
Yeah, so prior to that was Dopamine Nation. Yeah,
I want to read that one.
Yeah, it's more stuff, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah. You're not much of a TV guy, but are you watching anything on Netflix or anything?
I don't follow anything.
Yeah. You guys do like documentaries once in a while. That's about it.
Yeah. I get too into it.
Oh yeah.
I think I was telling you, I think before, but like I started watching Breaking Bad. Did I tell you about this?
No, you didn't tell me about this.
Oh man. Because I heard it was really good, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna settle in and watch this. And I watched like the first episode and like, okay, and I immediately get into the second episode. Yeah. And all of a sudden I started thinking, I was like, you know, meth, this isn't too bad of an idea actually. But then like I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like it was like during the day, like I'd go to work and like all I was thinking about was like the things that happened in the show and what's going to happen next. And like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah. And so I had to bail out of it.
Yeah.
So I followed from afar. So with that one, Bonnie watched it and I was just like, okay, what happened? And so she would give me the summary of each episode. Yeah. And so I followed like the whole arc of the series, and then I watched the finale and I was like,
perfect. That's too funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. So, I try to like stay off the TV as well, but I can get into a show. And if I do, I feel like I got to finish it.
Yeah.
And I remember getting Crave to watch a Batman that had been like redone, like director's cut of some Batman movie. So I signed up for the free trial of Crave. And then while I was on there, I was like, oh, Game of Thrones is on here. And I was like, well, check this out. And I watched the first like 2 episodes and it's like, well, frick, now I'm like committed to 72 hours of television. Like, ugh. Yeah. But
I remember because during the pandemic, like we came back from our trip and we had to isolate for 2 weeks. I was like, well, everyone's talking about Game of Thrones. Like maybe this is when I watch Game of Thrones. And the first thing I Google is like, it's 72 hours. I'm like, I'm giving 72 hours of my life. It's like, this better be good. And then I watched the first episode or parts of the first episode, and it looked, I don't know if it was the HD or whatever, but it looked like very amateurish. And yeah. And it was like, it just didn't get me. So,
that's good. You're lucky.
Yeah. I guess I have like gotten and hooked by things too, but but no, I'm not much of a series guy.
So you just watched the first episode and the last episode of Breaking Bad. That's good. That's the way to do it. Yeah. There's some middle stuff in there, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Pineapple on pizza.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. That's good.
Every time.
I am there as well. A lot of people are not.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
That's great. It's a good topping. Mm-hmm. This is an easy one. Early bird or night owl?
Yeah. Early bird.
Early bird for sure.
Yeah.
You're usually a 6 a.m. guy.
Mm-hmm.
One of the crazy people.
Love it.
Good on you. Are you a country music fan?
No. It's we were up at Waskesiu this weekend, and Ben and I were fishing on the breakwater, but we could hear the concert, and it was like this. It's the rock and country.
Oh yeah,
man! I just like it was just torture. I was like trying to fish. I'm just like in my blue jeans and my pickup truck, and I'm a hardworking guy. Just like,
I think you got
it's so generic. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. You got blue jeans, pickup truck, girl that loves you,
hardworking guy.
Yeah, like there you got like that's like 5 albums.
And like a dog has to die at some point. I think
that's retro.
Yeah. It's not a country music guy.
Yeah. Not a country music guy.
Beer or wine?
You know, a bit of both, but not, I'm getting less and less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, less and less.
Less and less into drinking in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know. I've noticed recently that I think wine gives me heartburn, unfortunately.
Man. Yeah. Like I used to, 2 beers was like, that was like perfect.
Yeah.
Like you get that, like, I like the mindset that you can get in.
Yeah.
Like if you keep it at that level.
Mm-hmm.
But then like I started to feel it the next day. I'm just like, this is like, even with 2 beers, I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
So that's the getting old part.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And this is I know all these answers for you.
Yeah.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Yeah. You're not a chocolate fan.
I do not like chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And you don't like coffee either.
Yeah, we were talking before. I think those tastes must be linked.
I think there's a bitterness factor to, or it has something to do with like if you like bitter food or something.
Yeah. Am I too far?
No.
Oh, yeah. I hate both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Salty too, but like I could say both on that one.
What's your go-to if you're not going to do, like if you want something sweet?
Wine gums, jujubes.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, wine gums are great. Jocelyn's not a wine gum fan.
Has she had the English kind? Like the British?
I don't know.
Those ones are higher quality for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do they sell those here?
Yeah.
I don't even know the difference.
I'll get a batch for you. I gotta hook up.
It'll cost you a lot, but awesome.
Yeah.
That's the fast ones.
Right on.
Anything else? I don't know. I think that's it. We did 41 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The life of Iain. Still lots to go.
I feel like we need to interview you guys.
Jocelyn and I did each other.
Yeah.
Like we did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were thinking about doing like a ask us anything kind of thing. Just getting a bunch of questions together and doing something like that. So
yeah, that's a good idea.
On a future one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
Cheers, man.
That's good.
Thanks.